Anybody out here trying to act like they a saint or you lying. You lying. And don't nobody like you. I saw some things that I could not unsee, right? Belief is not something you can just switch on and off. I lost my wife. I lost my career. I lost my friends. I lost my entire community over what the fuck I think about what happens after we die.
How has the process of therapy created clarity for you in your own life?
Therapy has really helped me love the worst parts of myself to the point where I can look you in the face and say, I don't give a fuck.
J. Crum is a rapper forged by faith, community, and a lifetime of carrying weight he was never meant to hold alone. His music sits at the crossroads of truth and survival, raw hip-hop with reflection, pain, and purpose. Every verse is testimony, every beat a mirror.
There's certain questions I think some people are afraid to ask. I wasn't afraid. I decided to ask them.
What were those questions?
Before we dive into the story from today's guest, I just want y'all to know that I'm so appreciative of everybody, each and every one of you who has been tuning in, that's been supporting, that's been liking, that's been just interacting and helping this podcast to grow. A couple of things that I want you to know. Everything that you see here is done by one person. It's a solo mission. It's a lot, but I'm passionate about this. I love creating. I love bringing content that you all enjoy. But it can be taxing. And so what I'm asking for you now is that in order to support me along this process of continuing to be able to bring quality content, quality stories, and ones that resonate with you, is that you just hit that subscribe button for me. It's the free thing that you can do to support me and this channel. I'm not asking for no money, not doing no fundraiser, not doing any of that. Just please hit the subscribe button. Please make sure that you like this video. Leave a comment, and that will make all the difference for me. And I'll be able to continue to produce this content that y'all enjoy to see. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's episode.
What's happening? My name is Jay Crum. I am from Detroit, but I grew up here in Omaha, Nebraska. I have been rapping for maybe a little over 20 years. Started out as a Christian rapper. Went and did, all of that, got nominated for some awards, won some awards, moved into marketing and helping other artists, and that moved into helping small businesses, and moved to me helping, nationwide franchises and everything like that on top of me doing the music and everything, which I just now started my own company, Streetlight Creative, or I'm relaunching it, but it's a brand clarity and brand strategy business that's really helping creators and small businesses with their messaging and everything like that, get all that into alignment and bring some clarity to their systems and messaging and stuff. So, yeah. Also used to be a pastor, planted some churches, did all that, have deconstructed, so no longer Christian, but just a lot of life change and everything like that. So yeah, that's me.
Absolutely. I think we're going to hop right into that, man. A couple of things that you talked about. One, well, first off, brand clarity, brand awareness, building that's dope, man. I'm all about that. So love that you're doing that. Number two, you used to be a Christian rapper. You planted some churches. You were a pastor, and now you're not.
Right.
I think before we really dive into the whys, I want to know, how did you even start to get on the path of wanting to do those things? I know for so many people and so many other guests that I've had on the show, there's like a story behind, or there's a reason. We know this brand. There's a reason why you moved in the avenues or the ventures that you did, and so take us back so that we can understand what created that person or that version of you at that point in your life.
Listen, it's time for you to get into therapy. Be honest with yourself. You about one crash out away from everything falling apart. And I know you talked to your homegirl and she said, "You doing just fine, you good, girl, ain't nothing wrong." And I know you talk to your homie too, and he like, oh, bro, you good, keep pushing. But look, let's be honest. You've been seeing all these different types of posts, maybe from me, saying all these different things that have been resonating with you, but you haven't taken the steps. So I'm gonna make it real easy for you today. You're gonna click on the link. You're gonna fill out the form on the website. Keep it real discreet, and we'll get you plugged in with a therapist who understands your experience, who relates to you, who doesn't see you as just another number, but sees you as a human being who's ready to start healing. So instead of crashing out, instead of doing the thing that can undo all of the things that you've been trying to build, let's just start therapy today.
You know, I grew up in my childhood was kind of rough. My pops was a little abusive, not a little abusive, nigga was abusive, you know. And he would it caused a lot of turmoil in our house and shit early on, right? And so my mom really leaned into church community at a young age. After my father left, you know, he split when I was around 10. After that, my mom really leaned into the church, and that kind of became our support system. So during that time, you know, with me kind of being the man of the house and everything, because I was the oldest of three, the men of the church kind of were the ones that raised me, you know, and kind of tried to teach me and instill those things in me, but mainly that, you know, God needs to be the center of my life, and Jesus needs to be the center of my life. Ministry needs to be the center of my life. I was told at 12 years old that I was supposed to be the youth pastor of that particular church, you know, and it was like anything I did that was like not that, or anything that wasn't in alignment with that, even growing up as a kid, was like somehow deemed as like sinful, you know? So, but it did mean a lot. Like there was this thing for me that I felt personally, this connection to God that I felt like was very real, you know? And in times that I felt like I needed to lean on safety, it was there for me. You know what I mean? I feel like. And so I really believed it, especially in the environment I was in. I was in an abusive relationship, you know, abusive household. I had an abusive, you know, shit going on, and people using control and all this type of stuff all around me and stuff. And so,
what was the abuse? Not to cut you off there. What was the abuse?
Yeah, so there was a lot of like there was some physical abuse. There was some mental, you know, a lot of emotional, a lot of spiritual stuff. It's kind of like you know, you need to read the scripture like, hey, if you don't listen to your parents, you're not gonna have a long life on earth, and things like that. Like, you gonna like threaten me, I'm gonna die soon if I don't listen to you, you know, things like that. And so so like it really instilling like the fear, but like there was some physical, you know, shit that was going on. So and so it was tough, man. It was tough to kind of like process that, because, you know, I feel like I internalized it in a way where I feel like I deserved it somehow, you know, or there was something that was wrong with me, you know, that like made me different than everybody else, you know, or it made me somehow deserve this more than anybody else does, you know. And I feel like maybe that carried through, you know. I think Christianity, at least the type I was practicing, reinforced that too, you know. This kind of, you're this wicked, evil person in need of a savior, you know. Your sin is what put him on the cross, and every time, you know, all of that, you know. You think about what that does to somebody mentally, you know. So like I felt all the time that I was the scum of the earth, man. Like I didn't know. I just felt like I wasn't like a good person, and I felt like I had to do a lot to be a good person. So I like overextended myself and I would overgive and shit like that. So, but yeah, sorry to answer the question of, yeah, that was the type of abuse that was going on. And then with, what was going on with, sorry, I might be lost where we was at.
You good, bro.
Yeah.
Before I interrupted you,
No, you good.
You were talking about just like the church that you were brought up in.
Yeah. Yep. So they were talking about it was a very charismatic. It was an apostolic church. A lot of speaking in tongues. A lot of people just like just very very prophetic and stuff like that, right? And so like for me, growing up in that environment, it made me even like I was zealous. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things when you deconstruct, people be like, "Yo, you never believed in the first place." I be ready to smack the shit out of anybody who say that shit. I'm gonna be honest with you because you have no clue. You have no clue what if there's any button I got, it's that one. You know what I mean? But I didn't mean to give everybody my button. But shit,
He said, "Now you know."
Right now you know. Yeah, shit. Yeah, you ain't got no clue. But I believe that shit, man. I went to Bible college. You know what I mean? I was in a discipleship program that was trying to train me up to be in ministry. I wanted to be a youth pastor in the inner city. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to my music. I honestly, bro, I didn't have no benefit doing Christian music for real. Most of the shows I was doing y'all know, I was doing in bars, clubs. I'm getting nominated for OEAs and shit. I'm a Christian rapper. Touring, not playing churches. The benefit of me doing, there was not one. It was only because I believed that shit. For real. You know what I mean? I'm out here headlining shows. Everybody else on this bill talking about, they ain't talking what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm like up here on the headliner, Christian rapping, doing this shit. And it's not even, but it's because I believe this shit, And like I'm really trying to do this shit. Like I'm really trying to spread this message. And so it was this thing for, But yeah, this all was like really really real for me, But it was really my childhood that like really instilled that that zealousness, I think, or maybe that overzealousness, This maybe I feel like it was like an unhealthy fear of God, heaven, hell, all of that, the fate of everyone else around you. Like I would think all the time about like, oh man, like if I don't tell people about Jesus, their blood's on my hands. Like I was like on that type of time, So yeah, when people be like, I take it a little personal because it was like, yeah, bro, I'm real. I was real, for people who know me, I was real about this,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
At what age for you? I know you said at 12 somebody told you like you're gonna be the youth pastor, but at what age for you was it like in your mind, was it confirmed like this is the route that I'm taking? This is what God has planned for my life.
Yep. When I was 15, I got bacterial meningitis. So I had a real bad brain infection, and it got to the point where I couldn't like put together sentences and stuff like that, right? And it got real bad. It got to the point where like I went into a coma, and I wake up. It's like 3 days later. I got like this tube at the side of my head, all my family flew in, my aunt flew in from Hawaii, my dad showed up, I ain't seen this nigga in 5 years, people speak, like everybody like, I'm like, what the fuck going on, I think I woke up, I was like, is this heaven? What the fuck, And my mom was like, no, you're in the hospital, the ICU, they started kind of telling me a little bit of what happened and everything. And the church folks started coming in a lot around this time, and really just like, God's gonna heal you. God's gonna heal you. God's gonna heal you. God's gonna heal you. And it was this kind of this thing of And many times and I think people just want to hope. I don't really blame anybody for that. Like that's just like, it's like, I look at it as like people have operating systems, right? So like your operating system, at least as right now, you might believe that God is the reason for everything, right? You don't know how to think outside of that right now. You know what I mean? So I don't take it personal. But I think sometimes what happens is when you get so rigid about something like that, and you for me, it was like, I don't even have space to think this could be something else, you know? And so it was this thing of, well, God's doing this, God's doing this, God's doing this, God's doing it. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of like, I mean, at the time I'm taking it in like, yeah, this is exactly what happened. You know, like it's the miracle that I'm able to do all this, everything like that. I don't know, man. I've unlearned enough. I feel like I've taken a step outside things enough and outside myself enough to know, like, man, there's a lot of people who have had that. They had no relationship with God. A doctor went in there who has been trained over years of time to do a surgery like that, went in there, did the surgery, it was successful, just like it's been thousands of other times. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to say that, like, anybody else's view of that is wrong, right? But what I am saying is you can at least make space for other perspectives, you know? And you can't knock somebody for exploring those, right? And so that was one of the things that I felt like kind of helped me change my mindset on certain things. A lot of people ask me that question, but yeah, to kind of answer some of that, yeah.
Facts. Back then though, at that time when that did happen, and you didn't necessarily have the revelation for yourself that you have now.
Yeah.
What type of changes or shifts in your life did you see after you made it out of the hospital?
Oh, that's good. I leaned all the way in, you know? So like, I think even in high school, people started calling me Preach, you know? That's like my first like rap name and everything. Like that's how all that started. Like I had like a I Love Jesus lanyard on, bro. I was, yeah, I was a lot. But I loved, you know, but I loved the Lord, man. Like that was it. Like that was couldn't nobody tell me nothing different. You know, I wasn't ashamed of it. I wasn't, and shit, even now I'm not ashamed of it. Like that's who I was, you know what I mean? But anybody can say whatever they want. What they can't say is like, Josh is not authentic. You know what I mean? Like that, I wore that shit on my chest every time, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know. But I really leaned into the pastor thing, you know? I started doing Christian rap right around that time. So like I was rapping in school. I was somebody at the church got me in the booth, started recording and shit. I got to even when I got to college, right? Because I started going for psychology, and I was like, well, I want to make this pivot. I want to go for biblical studies. So I made the pivot, went for that, and it was like started serving in ministry, started traveling around the country, started doing like it was like after that it was like okay, God, you saved my life. I'm all steams ahead. This is you know, you gave me another chance. I'm all yours. You know what I mean? And but yeah, that's how I went.
Man. And so you get to college, you going for psychology, and then you like, no. We about to change this up. Was it, what college were you going to at the time? And then did you leave that college to go to another one, or? I went to
UNO.
Okay.
And then I switched so there was I had a homie of mine. He was going to this church called Liberty Christian Center. You know what I mean? And they had a discipleship program called the Underground, and they were supposed to be accredited through Global University, right? So I went there to pursue ministry, because that's what I felt like God was leading me to do at the time.
Break that shit down.
Yeah. So let me tell you what actually happened, right? when I was in high school, I was getting really good grades. When I got my brain infection, it kind of fucked my grades up. So when it's time for me to go into college, I don't got a scholarship. I got some grants and shit like that, but nothing crazy, right? My mom can't afford to put me through college. I'm like, well, shit. I ain't gonna be able to do something, you know? The homies tell me that's what they got going on. I'm like, okay, where I really wanna, like I do, that's what I feel like. I'm just gonna maybe take this as a sign that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? What else am I gonna do? A lot else I could do. But that's how I felt at the time.
Right.
You know? And so I went and I did that, and that shit was crazy, man. You know? But yeah, that was to break that down, that was kind of the process that got me in there. And then that program, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Talk about that program.
Yeah, so I was part of this program called the Underground Discipleship Program. It was a lot like Master's Commissioning. So if you know anything about Master's Commission, it's like you have these people come to your church as disciples, right? And you're teaching them discipleship, and they're paying you tuition, right? And they clean your shit. They clean your shit. They pay you, and you clean their shit. And people can try to say, you know, oh no, like you trying to, it's about learning discipline. It's about praying, it's about building character. It's about y'all niggas was getting your church cleaned up for free. Not for free. You was making money off of that shit, actually. Around a bunch of kids who thought like this is the way that you was supposed to enter ministry. So you having entire rooms getting reorganized. You getting your children's church completely, your whole department filled up with people who paid you to get there. But they would do these things where they would, what you call them? They were like chapels, right? But they really, what I kind of learned what they call that is, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to remember it. The word that I'm looking for is, it's not gaslighting, but it's like what you do right at the front of like almost like a relationship. You trying to like
love bomb?
Love bomb. Yeah. It's like they love bomb you. And they tell you that you're gonna change the world. You're a planet shaker. You're a world changer. You're gonna do this. I see the Lord doing this, this, and this with you.
They gassing you up.
Just gassing you up, just so that they can, they pimping you. You know what I mean? But it's the same technique, man. It's the same technique. And you got these 18, 19-year-old, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids who you got doing all this shit because they trust you. They think that's what it's gonna be.
So that's what happened with you?
That's what happened to me. But there were moments where I felt like, well, maybe this is worth it. They bring Lecrae in. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, I get to drive Lecrae and his people around. You know what I mean? I get to give them my tape. I get to build some connections with and be honest, a lot of that happened. I did get to make some real connections. A lot of that really did help my career. I really did get to, do some things, but also, I'm dope as fuck. And I wrote them songs. I produced them songs. I wrote, you know what I mean? Like that attention was there because of what I was doing. It wasn't because of, I guess this thing of like, I guess in my head at the time though, it was like, it's like, I feel like I had to be here, Also with what was going on at home, when I left the church that I was at, it was really weird there too, where it was like, if you're not going to that particular church, it was almost like you're not even in God's will, right? You have to believe that doctrine. Like if you're not apostles' doctrine, if you don't believe that like Jesus is, if you don't believe like how do they do it? You got to like believe in Jesus. You have to be baptized in Jesus' name. You have to like speak in tongues, and you got to like, you don't believe in the Trinity and all this stuff, right? If you have all those things, but if you do all those things, they act like you're not even saved for real. You know what I mean? When I decided to like, I was like, yo, I'm not really rocking with that. And I went to something else. They treated me like I fucking backslid. Like I was out here just.
Your family did?
My family, that church, like everybody, everybody at least who was a part of that, So it didn't feel like I had anywhere else to go back to either. So I felt like I was stuck in this place where it was like, man, first week at this place, bro, they tried, like one of the kids like lost his life. They tried to pray this kid back to life. Like
he was dead, and
he
was there.
Yeah,
dead.
He was there. They it happened. 3 days later, we walk in. This boy, grave is in the front of the motherfucking sanctuary, and they're like trying to pray this boy to get back up. They tried this until his funeral. Brought the news in. Tried to do it in front of the news. Like this kid, whole school came, watched him do this stuff. That was my first week.
That's a hell of a first week.
Yeah, God, I was like, all right. So yeah, man.
Hold up. What was going through your mind?
I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I'm 18, I'm like, God, is this something? Is this what you want me to do? Is this, what's going, like, it was like, it was mind blowing. It was like bad. Like, it was just like, what the fuck is happening here? But it was also tough because I knew the kid, So I knew the kid. It was very important to everybody at the church. So it was like this, it was this really unhealthy way of, of being, and I think I was in shock, and to be honest, I was also a little curious, you know what I mean? I was like, this is, if anything, this is gonna be a good ass story. It's an ADHD, bro. Sometimes you gotta do the shit for the plot. You know what I mean? It's like, look, ain't nobody ever gonna believe this shit. I might see this motherfucker through.
Yo.
Anything. I don't know. Who knows?
At that time when that was happening, were there any seeds of doubt for you being planted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I to be honest, like I all the time, but there'll be things that like I would try to, like, you kind of even hear it in my music early on, I think. But there's a lot of questioning, like, why are things this way, And I was always somebody that was discouraged from asking questions, But I just can't, I'm gonna keep asking why, And to me, because that's the way things are, it's never a good enough reason, So
you make it through the first week.
Yeah.
How long were you there in duration?
Nigga, I was there for like 5 years.
Oh,
bro.
shit.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a lot to tell us about.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, let's talk about it, Shit, Why, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was a black kid in a predominantly white church. I was maybe one of 3 black people there in like a 400 people church, And I don't think I experienced any more racism in any other place. Like they was making jokes about like shooting Obama and shit. They was making jokes about like I remember the youth pastor came out in blackface one time. He was trying to be Kimbo Slice for Halloween.
Oh, no, that ain't it. He probably thought that shit was fresh too. That is not it.
I'm sorry, dog. I'm trying to wait. Oh my God, bro. This nigga shaved like the.
Oh, he did. He
changed the part. He shaved the head.
Committed.
He did.
Oh no.
Oh shit. If I can find the picture, I'm gonna send it to you. But yeah, man, I seen that. I seen nigga. It was a lot of microaggressions and all that type of shit, man. They were extremely controlling. You know, I remember they really were trying to keep making music. When I kept saying I wanted to, you know, I was like, yo, I just don't see me like doing music with y'all full time. Like that's not like where I see doing this. You know, I was part of this like worship team. It was like metal music and like rock and combination of all this stuff. Like it wasn't like it was fun, but it wasn't nothing that.
It wasn't your passion.
Yeah, it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I was about, you know, and they were trying to make that what I was about, you know, because we were actually starting to get noticed and we were getting some bigger features and, you know, so I think they were really trying to make it something, you know, and then for me it was just like, yeah, man, like y'all cool, but I'm kind of like, I'm ready to get up out of here, you know.
What instrument did you play?
I didn't play. I was rapping. I was writing the
okay.
lyrics. So I was rapping, singing, writing the lyrics, and I was leading so we would do like all these youth conferences and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, it was yeah, it was tough, man. I don't know. It was weird. It was really, really weird. But like when I finally was able to like trying to get out of there, I remember they being like me being like, hey, like I'm about to go and do this church thing. Like I'm gonna go do it on my own. Like y'all, I don't need y'all, bro. Like I'll figure it out. And like they were trying to like manipulate me to try to get me to come back. I remember they're like, "Whoa, you can't be part of the group if you leave." I'm like, "Well, I'm ready to be out this motherfucker anyway." Like, you know, but they really try to leverage that shit. It was just, but it just really showed me that it was like, you know, this isn't what I think it is. You know what I mean? Like people's true colors was showing, and I think there was part of me that wanted to be like, I wanted to be wrong, you know, but like, man, you know, I mean, shit. I mean, after everything I've seen, of course, but like, I think when you're under that amount of control and you're in it, like I was in a real life. Shit, it felt like a real life cult, you know. So like being in that, you don't always see everything that's happening. You know, you can't always see the forest for the trees. You know, so yeah. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do you think the traumatic experiences that you went through as a child played part in you staying in that space for as long as you did?
Yeah.
And how so?
Yeah, I think when you go from like control to control, it's like, okay, well, this is still controlling, but it's a degree less control than what I was used to. So it's like this, you know, because I also grew up in Boys Town too. So like my parents were family teachers, like before they split and everything. So like very much like look at the person, say, okay, do the task, check back. You know what I mean? And so I might have triggered some people watching me, but, you know what I mean? They was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Get your motherfucking point card out, you know? That's negative, you know, 500, whatever. You know, but like that was what I grew up around, you know? So growing up around that, and also growing up around like, you know, the high control church stuff, it was things that I tolerated that like I thought were normal because they were a degree less than the intensity that I had been underused, like I had dealt with before, you know? So I think that's what had me like put up with a lot of, so to answer your question, yeah, I do think that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so many times, just as a therapist too, especially when I'm working with people who have experienced on a range of just like trauma and that control, that manipulation, all of that, we tend to see people go from one situation that might look like it's on this extreme to another situation, like because it's comfortable.
Absolutely.
And not even realize it's the same situation, just a different fit. You know what I'm saying? And so it sounds like for you, and I'd be curious to know too, if you're comfortable with talking about it.
Yeah.
Have you found yourself throughout life going from situation to situation where you give yourself so much to the point to where it's like the thing or the people or the environment that you're giving yourself to inevitably does control or dictate your actions, outcomes?
Absolutely. Shoot, man. Romantic relationships, like that was the pattern I found that I kept repeating. You know, this last I just got in like my last big situation ended pretty poorly. You know, but it taught me a lot. And one of the things that it taught me was my own role in my pattern, right? My own role that I played into my own detriment when it came to that. And honestly, it starts with me not finding validation in myself, me not finding security in myself, me not finding love within myself. And so I don't have those things. So I get into some codependent shit where I'm looking for some other woman to give me all those things. In exchange, I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? What you need. I'll be safety for you. You know what I mean? I'll be security for you. You know, I'll be your provider. I'll be your protector. I'll be all that as long as you're all those things to me, right? But that type of dynamic, when I'm leaning on somebody else to fulfill something for me, right, that I should be fulfilling for myself, puts us in this dynamic where both of us are now being controlling. You know, because while I have these boundaries, I'm sitting here trying to beg you and trying to mold you into the person I need you to be that will respect my boundaries, instead of honoring the person that you are and being like, you know what, we're just not aligned.
That sounds like, well, first, appreciate you sharing that. Number two, it sounds like, even with what you explained from early on, just that installation of fear, and it's like I gotta show up. I have to be this. Yeah. Like it directly mirrors exactly what you just explained. So, bro, I want you to keep on going. From where you left the church, where you left that church, Liberty.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. So I left Liberty. Now I'm kind of floating around, you know. I'm going to different churches. I'm really just trying to enjoy the service, you know. I'm at the same time I'm running group homes, you know. So teenagers live with me from like 13 to 18, you know. So I'm doing that, going to church, still doing the music thing. Everybody at every church I'm going to, they're trying to put me on the staff. Like, you want to be man, we want you to be on the pastor. We want you to. No, I'm just trying to chill, you know. I meet my ex-wife at the time, you know, and so we both had an event here at the event. She's singing, you know. I do music, she does music. As soon as I saw her, I was like, "Bet I need to go holler at her, right?" Go and holler at her. We meet. Her friend kind of hooks us up and everything like that. We start seeing each other kind of seriously. She says, like, hey, like, it's really important for me that the person I'm with to be going to church, you know, and be going to church with me regularly. That's important to me. I'm in the church, you know what I mean? Or I'm a Christian. I believe that too. You know what I mean? All right, bet. We start going to church. Church we're going to, it kind of wasn't like our field, but she grew up in the same way I did, in the same type of church I grew up in. So, for me, you know, I was like, well, she didn't, you know, and there was some family stuff going on. So it was like, for me, it was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and take it to my family. We grew up in the same type of church. I've been kind of estranged from them at this point. Great opportunity to reconnect. So she can have, she can meet my family. She can have somebody she's tapped in with. All of that, I'm where, it was just kind of this thing where like, look, I'll just go ahead and be what everybody want me to be. You know what I mean? So everybody can be happy. And that's what I did. And it worked. Everybody was very happy.
For how long?
Well, everybody was happy until I said, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody was happy until I said, you know what? I'm not happy. Everybody was very happy with me. I was winning awards. I was traveling. I was doing all that. My music was probably at the biggest it had ever been, I remember I was supposed to go to Atlanta. And we were gonna go play. We were gonna go do this show, and I was supposed to meet with some bigger Christian rappers and stuff like that. We were gonna shoot some music videos. I was telling the church I was like, hey, I'm gonna be here this Sunday. They were trying to get me to say like, hey, you're supposed to be here. This is a distraction. Just more of that control. That was the moment where I was like, yeah, I'm cool on y'all. And I actually left and started trying to plant my own church. And so I spent like 2 years with Myron actually, so we would sometimes we would go to these church planning conferences, and I would go to mission. And I would serve in different ministries and stuff like that, and we would talk vision and everything like that. And then around beginning of 2020, I was getting ready to plant. It's actually getting ready to plant. I was meeting in Culture House.
Okay.
And so it was going to plant there. February, we had to make the decision we were going to launch. Mission hadn't even sent us out. We went to, as soon as March hit, pandemic. You know what I mean? Everything gets shut down. I think we tried to launch digitally, which wasn't great because of the following I had built. Whenever I was going live, I'm getting people from all over the world. My intention is to be inner city, be very niche. I'm not really trying to worry about, I want to worry about my community, So what I don't want is somebody from Buckfuck, Iowa, trying to tell me all lives matter. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. You know what I mean? So because everything else that was going on that year, So, after a while, it just didn't feel like, it was like, man, this just isn't, I don't know if this is serving the purpose that I think it is, It was, and so I just was like, I don't know if I need to serve in this way. And so I was like, there's better ways I can serve. So I think at the time I also was working as a community youth coach. And I was like, man, this just feels like enough. This feels like, this means something to me. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with religion. It had nothing to do. It just had everything to do with yo, I want y'all to be good. I want you to be good in your homes. I don't want you removed from your home. I don't want you separated from your family. I don't want any of that. So if I'm able to help with that, that's what that was my heart. You know what I mean? That felt like this feel like ministry to me. You know what I mean? So I stopped doing the church. Still was Christian, but I had a lot of questions. I still had a lot more questions. I was getting more questions as I was diving deeper in scripture because, of course, I'm trained to be a pastor. So as I'm certain things, it's like, a friend of mine, he deconstructed completely. He was deconverted, atheist, and was an asshole about it, And I was that nigga's about to call me, So I was like, man, let me go ahead and get ready. So I was getting apologetics. I was getting my hermeneutics. I was getting everything ready. I was like, you ain't about to, you know what I mean? I'm about to. Sometimes I tell people it's I study the Bible so much, I study myself out of it in some ways. There's certain questions I think some people are afraid to ask. I wasn't afraid. I decided to ask them.
What were those questions?
Is this real? Where did this come from? is it possible that this might have been added? Is it possible that there was another agenda at hand? Is it possible that this isn't as divine of a book as we thought it was? You know, is it possible that some details have been changed? Maybe is it possible that is it possible that I am wrong about everything? You know? And so I looked at it one by one, you know, and that was a long process and a very painful one, and one that ended in, you know, I say now, like, I mean, I'm a cool ass nigga now, you know what I mean? You know, but, you know, no, I'm playing. But no, I feel like, but man, like that darkness that came after. Yeah, bro. Like I don't wish that on nobody, but also, ain't nobody can say to me. Ain't shit nobody can do to me. Ain't shit nobody can say to me that I ain't say myself. You know, ain't shit nobody can talk about me that I'm not. I'm cool. Like it's this thing. It was like the good, the bad, the ugly. Crum, did you do that? Probably, maybe. You know, I can tell you why. You know, if that you I don't care. You know, I don't have a rep to like uphold. I'm just me. And if you love me, cool. And if you don't, cool. Fuck you, but cool. You know.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Take us through that process of deconstructing this thing, bro, that your whole life was built around.
Yeah.
There's an identity, there's a piece of identity there, and we've already kind of talked about it, right? Like there was this control early on, and this abuse, this manipulation, all these different things that led to I need something to control or guide me, because if it's not, it's almost like I'm in this state of just perpetually being wrong.
Right.
I'm wrong. Something's messed up.
Something's messed up.
Which led to my whole identity is now in this. And then you hit this point, bro, where the very thing that you found identity in for all of your life that had this control over you, you no longer, or you couldn't even be certain anymore that this is what I want to be part of me anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Walk us like through that period, because I know it wasn't all at once, and I know there was probably a lot of stages to this. What did that look like?
Yeah, so it started with kind of where I left off with the Anthony thing. Or I said the nigga name. Hey, bro. Appreciate you. You knew I was talking about you. Though.
We know who you is.
He gonna you gonna
we
own
know
it.
who you is now, niggas.
He gonna own it anyway. You know what I mean? He like, it was me. You know? But it started with that, and it really was just like it was really a personal quest for me to strengthen my faith. You know, so like for me, it wasn't something that this isn't something that like I wanted to do so that I could like. So that life could be easier for me, or I could sin without apology. Let me tell you, as a nigga who's completely deconstructed, the amount of church girls that don't actually, you know, let me just say. But listen, y'all don't be following either, okay? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Deacon sold me a zip. You know what I mean? Like stop playing with me. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is this, right? I saw some things that I could not unsee, right? Belief is not something you can just switch on and off. If it was something I could switch on and off, please believe I would have switched that motherfucker on a long time ago. I lost my wife. I lost my career. I lost like my friends. I lost my entire community. Over what the fuck I think about what happens after we die. And if you want, let's say, oh, that's not the reason. We don't like you because of, you know, your attitude or how you treated so-and-so and everything like that. Listen to me. Your homegirl cheating on her husband right now with the drummer, right? Probably, right? That shit continues to happen. Y'all let that shit slide because they go to church every Sunday. But let's say half of the things y'all trying to say nigga did, I did. Same sins, different prayers. I'm not playing these games with these folks. You know what I mean? Anyway, to answer most of what your question is, I continued bit by bit, learning, deconstructing, taking pieces apart. It was really, really difficult because I remember trying to have conversations with people about it. And people didn't want to have conversations with me about it. People didn't want to talk to me about it. Why? Because I was the guy people used to call about, hey, I don't know what this scripture means. What can you tell me? You know? I was a person that people called when it was like, hey, I'm having a hard time. Do you think you could pray with me? Hey, bro, like I'm having a hard time paying these bills. You think you can help me out? You know? Like I was that person, right? So when I'm here, like, hey, these are the things I'm struggling with, you know? Now, my struggle becomes a personal attack on you and your faith. Somehow now I gotta be a villain because somehow your cloud of many witnesses gets weaker when I don't believe anymore. Ain't got shit to do with you. You know, I'm just looking for support. Couldn't find it anywhere. And well, that's not true. I was able to find that, but I wasn't able to find it in the current community I was in. I had outgrown it, you know.
If you would have found that support, this is just a hypothetical question.
Yeah.
If you would have found that support in your community, do you think your outlook would have been different than it is now?
Tell me, as far as the outlook, what do you mean? Like,
well, just like the deconstruction piece.
Yeah.
Do you think you still would have landed where you are at now, or do you think it would have went differently if people would have heard you out, if people would have listened, if people would have been open to the perspective?
I think,
and I know that's a big thing.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I think I would have landed in the same place. I think the landing would have been a lot softer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Absolutely. You lost your wife over this.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, well, there was that and some other issues, but you know, but yeah, that was a big part of it. Cause like I was a pastor, you know what I mean? And here's the thing, right? And this isn't even like I don't want it to be no bad blood with her, you know? But like, it's this thing where I think we didn't know how to hold each other in that time, you know, because all we knew was Christianity, you know, and so that's all we knew to lean on. We didn't know how to I just don't think like there was the capacity there emotionally, mentally, to like us to be I don't think we were compatible in that way, and I think when it comes to like Christianity, it definitely puts a fantasy in your mind of what you think marriage is supposed to be like. So if a person loves Jesus and you guys have a few, 3-4 things in common, somehow that's your partner. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. And definitely rush that. And I think sometimes we idealize our partner. And I think that's definitely what I did with her. I think it was this thing of like, hey, this is what I need in a partner, and you're not that right now, but I believe you can grow into that. So I'm gonna keep hoping and pushing and convincing and begging and all of that for you to be that, instead of me just like, you know what, sometimes the behavior is the answer. Sometimes what you're seeing in front of you is the answer. And it doesn't necessarily mean that person's bad. Just means you're not in alignment with them, you know? And I think that's kind of like where I'm at now with it, you know? It's like, But yeah, I did. There was times where she was, I don't want a godless marriage. And to be honest, that's fair. You didn't marry me to be in a godless marriage. You married me when I was trying to be a pastor. I'm not that person anymore, And for me, it was like several of my needs weren't being met, And I kept making accommodations and trying to be understanding and trying to do all that. And it got to the point where it was like, look, I'm about to start doing some real fucked up things to get my needs met. I don't want to be that person. I gotta get out of here.
Did you talk about that dark period?
I haven't talked a lot about it. That kind of sent me in a like a 2-3 year spiral. I think, bro, I got separated. I moved out the house and was immediately just nigga went crazy. You know what I mean? Like I just started dating and moving, moving crazy a little bit, I had a little bit of a hoe phase, I had to do it out of the city, It's like it's too many, y'all know too many people know each other out here. You know what I mean? Too many people in the same friend group, or it's just you gotta be careful out here, But I also wasn't moving well. You know what I mean? Like, because at that point, all I knew how to be was a husband, right? So I'm overcommitting. I'm like overextending myself. I'm feeling like I gotta be everybody's motherfucking boyfriend and shit.
Oh, you was falling in love,
bro? Yeah. Or they was too. You know what I mean? But like, I just felt like it was one of I only knew how to give, because like honestly, even when I was like me and my ex-wife, we were each other's first time. So like I saved myself from marriage. So like outside of that, I literally only knew how to be a husband. So like I'm giving husband energy all the time. So now everybody want to marry me or have kids and do all that shit. And to be honest, I just want to fuck, Mm-hmm. But I don't know how to say that. I'm not emotionally available, lady, We can have a great time though. I'm learning now. If you just tell the truth, it's okay. You still might get what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes people are okay with that. Just be honest, But at that time, I didn't. I thought like I had to be. There was something wrong with being like, you know what? Like, I like you. I'm really attracted to you. I would love this type of connection. I'm not looking for nothing serious. But if you cool with that, let's proceed. If not, that's cool too. It's that release of control. I think that for me, that was like, I don't need to control the outcome. I'm good regardless. You know what I mean? Having that mindset changed everything, actually. Not just in those dynamics, but everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like I have my North Star. I have my moral compass. I know where I stand. I know what I stand on. And so by following that, I can't, regardless of what happens, I can't be wrong. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, I got to look myself in the mirror. So
I think that's another, what you just broke down, that's another piece of trauma that a lot of people experience in church. But behind closed doors, it's one that the very people who tell you you're wrong, you're going to hell for, they doing themselves.
Right.
This notion that you're the worst sinner if you have sex outside of marriage.
Absolutely.
Or if you're doing it. I think it's like a twofold thing, because being somebody who been around the block a couple times with plenty of people, I know the emotional and spiritual draining that it does for me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm giving myself, and
Absolutely.
I give pieces of myself to people who I don't even know what they carrying.
Yeah.
Like this trauma shit is
Absolutely.
real.
Yeah, bro. I thought I was healing. I was starving, bro. Starving, Trying to do whatever I can to satisfy that shit,
But then to say somebody's bad because they do it. But then not give the full connotation or the actual thing, because you telling me I'm bad, but it's really you telling yourself you bad and projecting what you felt,
right,
onto me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it really creates this environment where so many people get lost. They get lost because they don't understand the truth. Mm-hmm. The truth of, man, you're not bad because you have these natural urges.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not bad.
Right.
But know how to
control that.
Know how to control it. Know what you're using when you use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, that was a struggle, right? It was like this, it got to the point where I'm chasing. There was a time it felt like I was turning down more pussy than I was most niggas was getting offered. It felt like, you know, because I was never chasing it. It was always about that, right? But it was like when I got into survival mode, it was like that's what I need to like get me through, you know? And you know, I think the most painful, the part for me that tries to keep me like on the up is like realizing I don't want my growth or my lessons to keep coming at the expense of other people. You know what I mean? And that can happen very easily, and if you don't have self-control or you have a lack of clarity in what it is that you're trying to bring forth, right? And I know for me, I've struggled immensely with like making sure I'm bringing clarity with that, and like I think that's why I'm so now like I try to be so clear about that, because it's like I also am no longer meeting myself with shame, you know, like and that's in all aspects, you know, but just like realizing that like, look, me being this way is me being this way. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. You know what I mean? And like, if this is how I want to live my life, you know what I mean? Why the fuck does it matter to anybody else? You know? I'm not out here trying to hurt nobody. I'm not out here trying to do anything else. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be me. Mm-hmm. You know? And I don't know. It elicits a strange reaction sometimes. You know?
What do you mean?
So I feel like either it really intimidates people, or it makes people be like, I'll tell you, it's almost like they think there's another angle at it or something, right? It'd be like, oh, so this, you ask a question, they're like, oh yeah, that's true, yeah, I did that, whatever. What do you mean? Like I meant what I said. I said what I'm not here to. I don't want to lie to nobody. I don't want to. Everybody gets to make a decision. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things. Like even with like when people talk about, I don't even care about like rumors and shit like that, right? Because it's like there's nothing you can really do or say to somebody who does not, who gonna tell it themselves. Like. Yeah. I own the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I mean? Like that's, and I think everybody should. You know, like anybody out here trying to act like they a saint or you lying, and don't nobody like you. You know?
He said straight up.
For real. If you out here trying to act like you perfect and shit, don't nobody like you for real. You know what I mean? You ain't human. You know? They know you fake. Stop. You know?
That's the truth, though. That's the truth. I can relate to that. Yeah. I can relate to that on a deep level, bro. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, man, all of us are struggling with something. Mm-hmm. All of us. We all got our vices. We all got our demons that we dealing with or that we battling. Mm-hmm. And it's like when people pretend that they don't, mm-hmm. and they put on this this holy cloak,
Right.
You know,
Right.
walk around higher than everybody. It's just like, man, what is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Question for you, bro. What was like the final moment where you were like, this ain't it for me no more?
Yeah. That's a great question. I was doing an event. It was December 16th. I remember I was doing this event called Crum's Christmas. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. Anyway, you could get into the event with like either like canned food or you would buy a ticket, right? And my guitar player, the guy he deconstructed too. But he was still playing for me and stuff. We were headlining the show, getting ready to. Was trying to perform. I probably did the worst set I ever did in my life. It was terrible, forgetting lyrics, all that type of shit. But it really felt like it was like there was certain shit I couldn't like make myself say because I didn't believe it anymore. I had a month prior, I had deconstructed a lot of stuff, but the one thing I didn't unpack was the crucifixion, right? I was like, well, I'm here now, you know what I mean? Basically, came out on the other end, just kind of like, all right, I don't think I'm a Christian anymore. And I think at the end of that show was when I fully accepted it. I remember walking my merch over to the car. And I remember my ex was with me at the time, and I broke down crying, and I said, I'm not a Christian anymore, and like I said I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm afraid of what that means for you and me. Yeah, and but that was like the moment. I put out a letter, I think a couple of days later, like on my social media, just letting people know that I deconstructed and all of that. And
You made the song too, didn't you?
yeah, I made a song called Clarity. Clarity was it was about the whitewashing of Jesus. And I burned pictures of white Jesus in the music video. Oh, they was mad at me, bro.
Yeah. You was getting hate messages.
Yeah. I mean, even from the homies, it was like, all right, I'm all for the stuff, but just pictures of Jesus, the birth of Jesus is too far from me. I'm like, yeah, nigga, that's not even Jesus, So that's the whole point,
Yeah. Have any of those relationships that kind of flipped once you did deconstruct? Have they been able to heal or like rekindle?
Some have. Some of them is still like, it's still fuck you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, still.
Is it like that with family?
Because like some people gonna see this and they blocked on my social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know.
He said, now that you've seen me.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, hi,
Yeah.
maybe a good clip for you. I don't know. No. Sorry, that's not healed. Hello, I do hope the best for you. But I'll say this. Some stuff, yeah. There's some people who have come and like yo, like I fuck with you. I appreciate you. Some of them play in my band now. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's still a lot of love from people in the church. And I'll say this, like I learned how to love in the church. I learned who I was. I learned a lot of things from the church, a lot of things that I carry today, still from the church, and that I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff that I could do without. You know what I mean? And I am doing without. And but as far as like the people, as time goes on, more and more show up. I'll say that. People go on their own journeys and everything like that. And I'll say this too, like, I don't think it's so much like people have a problem with me. I think I make people ask questions they're not ready to ask themselves yet. And so it's like, it's easier kind of vilify that than to see it for what it is, you know? And so while I understand it, I don't really stick around for it. I ain't got to stick around for it.
Facts.
You know? And I do, and also, I think I do too much understanding. You know what I mean? I don't need to understand some of you niggas. You know what I mean? Like, you did what you did. I don't even understand why you did it. It's a deterrent to my life. Get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? Like, good luck though.
Yeah.
You know, mental health.
Through this process, you started therapy and you started unpacking a lot of the things that you've been through, and a lot of the spaces and places that weren't the most welcoming and inviting to the perspective that you now bring. How has the process of therapy created clarity for you in your own life?
Yeah. To have somebody like advocate for me has been huge. I think for me it's been tough because like I've like my pops was like really abusive, and I wanted to do everything I can and not be like him. So I think I overdid it in creating safety to the point where I shrunk myself, you know? So like me feeling like, so me setting the boundaries, someone's acting like me setting the boundaries aggressive, then I feel like, oh no, like I'm sorry, like step all over my boundary, you know? like it's like that. And so like trying to unlearn that, you know what I mean? And move from that. So I don't even know if I'm answering your question well or not, but like, but that's really what's been helping me, you know, navigate those spaces. Yeah, I don't know. I have ADHD, so if I, you know,
you good, bro.
If I slip off the question,
hey, you're good. I understand it 110% because so do I.
Bet. All right, bet.
Yeah. Growing up in the church that you did, mental health probably was not a a topic that they like. Go check your mental health. Go get it. It's probably more along the lines of
therapy. I'm sorry. The advocacy part. Yeah. So like with the therapy, so it's helped me become an advocate for myself. So like being able to stand up for myself, right? Being able to see like, okay, not being in me being able to be like, hey, me saying this, even if it's uncomfortable for you, doesn't mean it doesn't need to be said, right? I'd rather have short, awkward conversations than having a long, devastating one later, you know? I'd rather you know where I'm sitting so that you ain't able to pull out the dark about shit you gonna be frustrated about. It's taught me how to love myself. It's taught me how to be centered in myself. It's taught me to find love within myself, security within myself. It was this thing where I was trying to search it into a partner that I felt like pulling teeth trying to get it out of, right? When the whole time should have been giving that to myself, you know? And therapy really helped show me that. And not only that, but also like accepting myself, like, I'm not perfect. Yeah, like it's okay. Like it is all right. You're not always gonna make the healthiest decision. You're not always gonna be just healing all the time. You're not always gonna, you know, you're not always gonna, progress isn't always gonna feel linear, you know? It doesn't mean you're not growing. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love, you know? What was it? We were talking about this before the interview, where JID was like, you know, I pray that when you see the worst in me, you can still find worth in me, you know? And so it's like, what does that look like? And therapy has really helped me love the worst parts of myself, you know? To the point where I can look you in the face and say, I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So...
And that's healthy.
Yeah.
And that's healthy.
Yeah.
Because growing up looking for approval from the very people that might be on the other side of this camera, being able to say, I don't give a fuck, is liberating.
Absolutely.
It's a liberating
Absolutely.
thing. We got a couple more minutes, and I got a couple more questions for you, bro. If if you could go back, you now, and you were looking at 10-year-old you, 11-year-old you, 12-year-old you, and you could say anything to him, what would it be?
You don't deserve what's happening to you. It's not your fault. And that you're gonna grow up to be a handsome ass nigga. And everything gonna be okay. Handsome, talented ass, smart ass nigga, you know? Everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, you deserved a little more protection, and I'm doing that now.
How would that message have impacted you then?
Man, I definitely, niggas wouldn't be able to play with me like they did, you know? For sure, you know. I definitely would have known what I deserve more in relationships. Knowing what to look for, and not just what was offered to me, you know, not just accepting whatever was given, you know, because somebody wanted to show enough interest, you know. That was the other thing, you know. Stop confusing attention with connection, you know.
Say that one more time.
Stop confusing attention with connection, you know. And I feel like, especially over the last few months, that's been a big theme for me. Cause man.
He said, cause man.
Man. You know what I'm talking about, you know?
This dude is a fool. Last thing.
I'm not unblocking you either, you know?
Last thing. Where's your... Do you have a spiritual life now since deconstructing?
Yeah.
What does that look like, if so?
Yeah, it looks a lot different. You know, I do have a spiritual life. It's very loose though. It's not very rigid. It's not very like it's not strict with any rules or anything like that. But I do believe in like personal spirit. I really love like the Igbo tradition, like before like colonization kind of got in there. But like, so I really love the idea of your chi and like the inner strength that comes from that. And it just makes sense for me because, and I'll tell you that the anxiety I have or have had, right? I remember in Christianity, the anxiety I would have about, am I making the right decision? Is this what God wants from me? Is this, you know, or is this an attack from the enemy? Is this direction actually a distraction? Or is this, you know, oh wait, you know, even as a kid, like, did everybody get raptured up? Like, where the fuck everybody go? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like that type of anxiety happening all the time of like, is God pleased? Is he disappointed? Did I represent him well today? Did I do this? All that gone. It's okay. Am I doing better than I did yesterday? Am I continuing to make better decisions? Okay, I did it today. Okay, what was I looking for in those moments? Okay, I was looking for connection, but I was skipping honesty. Why was I skipping honesty? I was skipping honesty because I have an unhealthy relationship with disappointing you. Why? Let's figure that out. Get into the bot, like that type of shit. Like it's this, I don't fear things anymore. When I feel shame, I lean into it. I don't run from it anymore. And on the other side, it's so much easier now to get to the other side of that, you know? and realizing who is good for you and who is not, and realizing what you should tolerate and what you shouldn't, and how you love yourself and all of that. So, because when you love yourself, then you ain't gonna tolerate bullshit from other people, you know? Because I ain't gonna do that to me. So you damn sure ain't gonna do that to me. You know what I mean? So
I feel that.
yeah.
Last question, bro. If there's somebody watching who has experienced some similar experiences, who have experienced church hurt, who have experienced identity where it is controlling, or where they can't be anything different outside of because of the amount of control that they feel on their life. If they take too far of a step to the left, bad. If I take too far of a step to the right, bad. And I don't know what to do. What piece of advice would you give them?
I would tell you that have you considered that everything that got you here came from within, and maybe not from something externally? And if that's the case, what more can you do if it was you the whole time?
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me, man. Because I know it's going to be a lot of people out there that's like, man, why you allowing him to talk about this here? But bro, I respect you, and I feel it, and I know that position because I've went through something similar for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I think at the end of the day, just as a human, we all need to feel the liberation inside of us, whatever it looks like.
Absolutely.
And I don't need to stomp on you, or they don't need to stomp on this person because of somebody else's man, we are multifaceted beings with multifaceted experiences.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just appreciate you coming on today and talking about this, bro, and sharing your truth and opening up about it, because I know there's going to be somebody out there that's watching this that gets a piece of liberation from this. Something is going to click from what you said for them that they like, man, I can take this weight off. I can finally walk in this truth that I've been searching for, but I've been too afraid to walk in the truth.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So for all of y'all that are watching today, I appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of the CYR Podcast, because when you clean your room, you change your life, you create your reality, and you just might be able to create your own resilience. We out. What you thought, bro?
Bro, that was a blast, bro. I had fun.
It was.
Bro.